Hi everyone, this is Erin from Sandpaper Road, and this is episode 1 of our Commit to Christmas card ideas series. So join me for lots of inspiration to get ready for making those Christmas cards this year. Today's idea is to make an easy shaker card, and I'm featuring stamps and dies all from Creekbank Creations. Now, even if you've never made a shaker card before, you'll be really inspired to try, so stick around. We're going to get started right away. I'm using this stitched arches die set and just a piece of deli plastic from like a takeout container. So I'm going to use the middle die to cut out a shape, and that's going to be the window part of the shaker. Run it through a couple times. And then I'm going to use the other two arched dies and just some paper that I have. I like make my own little card making scrapbooking kits, and this is one way that I use scraps, is just put them together in already color coordinated kits, and then I don't have to think about color matching or anything like that. I use a lot of Pinterest color palettes for that. So I'm choosing some colors for my card, and then what I'll be doing is cutting a frame. I was going to cut that out because it got a little bit long, but I thought maybe you'd like to see all of the pages and scraps that were in my pack. So I cut a frame out of the largest die and the smallest die from that set, that arched stitched set, and then that created the frame. Now the frame and then the window are going to fit perfectly together, and I'm going to use some of the 1/4 inch super tacky tape. And you can check the description box below for links to all these products from Creekbank Creations. Creekbank Creations actually sponsored the products in this video, but the links are direct. They are not affiliate links. So I'm using the 1/4 inch tape and just wrapping it around and fitting it around the acetate sheet and then placing it on the frame. And it's a really sturdy and sticky tape. Then I'm using, I had never seen this before in my life. I'm using, it's black foam tape. And when you first get it out, the sides are kind of sticky. So I just sprinkled a little bit of baby powder on the side. And that really helped like keep the tack down. And it's not going to hurt anything. And then my sequins or my filler, my shaker filler won't stick to the inside, the sides of it. And it bends around. I cannot believe it. It bends around perfectly before you pull the release paper off. And a lot of times with foam tapes, you have to pull the release paper off to get it to bend and work with the way you want. But this one, you don't. So I'm going to use this nice paper, this nice pattern paper for the background of my shaker. I had a little bit of trouble just deciding just plain what I wanted because I like all those colors and I like that color combination so much. But I decided on this piece of pattern paper for the background of the shaker, and that's how it's going to look. Then I wanted a background for that piece, and I chose like a nice, I was going to choose burgundy, but then I thought, no, I'll use burgundy elsewhere in the die set. So I chose pink just to kind of soften up the feel of the card, I guess. Now, the way I cut my panels is basically whatever card base you're going to use, that solid color panel is about 1/4 inch smaller than the card base, and then my pattern paper panel is about 1/2 inch smaller than the card base. So you've got about 1/4 inch margin, maybe actually a little bit less, but that's just the way mine ended up, and then that's how that'll go. So when I was ready, then I pulled the release paper off before I'm going to fill it with the shaker, like goodies or whatever. Sequins, you can use beads, you can use chunky glitter if you have chunky glitter. I might not use like a super fine glitter. That can get a little bit messy. If your foam tape just happens to come up just a tad, you're going to have glitter everywhere. So I would stick to something a little bit chunky. And the sequins work really well. Now, lining that up can be a little bit tricky, but if you have something that has a grid on it, even if it's like your stamping platform or something, what you can do is just put the shaker down and then just work with the grid lines to make that perfectly, and then you'll get a perfect fit every time. And then I thought I'm going to build the rest of my card around the shaker. So this is just a cookie box. You could use any kind of a thin cardboard box, cereal box, whatever. And I have the super tacky tape from Creekbank Creations, and in a big roll. And at first I used a little sanding block and just sanded down the surface. Now in hindsight, actually, I probably would have done something a little bit different. It turned out okay, but as you could see, I really just put the tape right on top of the box without a second thought of what I wanted the result to be like. Because honestly, at first I thought I was going to put like cardstock on top of that tape and just have the cardboard give it a little bit of extra weight. But then I decided not to do that because right here is where I thought, ooh, no, I'll just die cut the Bethlehem star die and then use the Pixie Puffer over top. But I neglected to think that when I pull off that release paper, because it's just adhesive, what I'm going to end up with is the cookie box image. You'll see that later, and I didn't mean to do that. So I just die cut out the Bethlehem star, and I was really happy with the way this turned out. Now that's probably about as much weight as your Big Shot or your die cutting machine can handle with these particular dies. I did try to go the cardstock and then on top of the cardboard, on top of the adhesive sheet, and it was just a little bit too much with the die. So for the paper piecing for the little baby Jesus, I decided just go strict with cardstock pattern paper and direct onto the super tacky tape. And it's really easy to use. You can even actually tear the super tacky tape from the big roll. So I die cut out the little pieces, and you can see that I cut two of the actual little baby pieces. Let me zoom in a little bit here. There's the hay out of just a basic pattern paper. And then I used brown for, really all I needed the brown for is sort of the legs, but I wanted to have a nice base. And then I kind of stuck this out of order, so I had to peel it up a little bit, which you can do the first couple seconds, but not much longer after that. Then the little burgundy, because I wanted him to be swaddled in the burgundy. And then this is a really light color, and I wanted his face for the light color, but I wanted to be able to ink it. I knew there was no way that it was going to be that light. And I just did basic paper piecing to fit it together. And then I'm going to use some Distress ink to make his face look a little bit more realistically colored. And that's going to go right there. And it's already backed with the super tacky tape, remember, from before, so I didn't have to use liquid glue or anything like that. I am going to have to use liquid glue here on this star, but that's okay because I didn't mind to do that. It turned out to be good later. That's a scrap piece there of the super tacky tape from the roll. And then I was using the 1/4" super tacky tape, and I thought, oh, this is going to take forever. So I reached for the 1/2" super tacky tape. And again, all these links are in the description. You can check out all the different sizes and kinds and everything. And a lot more photos and things on the blog too. So now I'm adhering the card base with the shaker and the baby Jesus onto the card panel to the card base. And then I'm going to finish up the card as it's already put together. Now this, I have the Bethlehem star, and here's where I pulled it off and I saw the cereal box or the cookie box background. I thought, oh my goodness. And so I thought, well, hopefully the Pixie Puffer, this is the Pixie Puffer, and it just basically blows the pixie dust glitter, fine glitter, onto the star. I have to say that as I was, that's like a tray I use for spray inks and stuff. But as I was doing this, I was really not pleased with myself that I just left it just the box color. I couldn't believe I overlooked that. And then I thought, well, maybe I can make it work, because maybe if I put enough glitter on it, I mean, luckily it was yellow and not like, you know, bright pink or something. Well, it just wasn't enough glitter for me, so I just dumped a little bit of the pixie dust and really wanted to make it a little bit more. And again, with my goal was trying to cover up as much of that yellow as I could. And then I realized, well, actually, it looks kind of good. Because if there was any color that would look good, it would be yellow for a star. So that was definitely a good mistake. And I'm just using a little bit of liquid glue to adhere the star. And again, I'm putting it on top of the shaker, but hanging off just a little bit on the sides. I like to do that. I like to build on top of the shaker and under the shaker and inside the shaker and not just do it one way. So after I left the acetate block on there to sort of weigh it down, get the glue to hold a little bit, now I'm going to do some stamping. And I have the sentiment set. And I think it's called When They Saw the Star. But again, check the description box for the exact link and the name of the stamp set. And over on the blog, I've actually got photos of the products and things as well. And this is just some archival ink, and I used my Tim Holtz stamping platform to get that image nice and crisp. Now, I didn't have a die that was like the perfect size that I wanted, so I thought, well, I'll just use my paper trimmer and get that down to exactly the size I wanted, and then maybe I'll just fishtail the ends. I thought there's no way I'm going to make that perfect, so I used my little pokey tool, my Spellbinders tool-in-one, to just poke where I wanted the fishtail middle to be, and then I could use my scissors to get it where I wanted. I still had a little bit of trouble I was just doing this freehand, so I'm sure there's a better way to do it, but I couldn't get it to be the exact perfect size I wanted with the first try, so it did take me a couple tries to just get it perfect. I'm sure that there is a better way to do that. Sometimes those quote unquote better ways, though, take me a little bit longer than I would like to spend, so I just sort of eyeball it and keep moving. And then I'm just inking the edge with some Distress ink, and that looks really good. I was happy about that, except that I was hoping that I would be able to pull that star up a little bit, and because I really wanted the star to go on top of the sentiment, and luckily it wasn't quite dry from that liquid glue, so I could pull it up and just add a couple more dots of the liquid glue to hold it down. So yeah, I'm really happy about the way this turned out. Just for a final touch, I thought I'd ink the edges of the card with black soot Distress ink, and I thought that that would match the black foam tape, because you're obviously going to be able to see that, but it just really helps make it match. Super, super happy with the way that turned out. Now, I do show the sentiment from the stamp set kind of quickly, but again, you can head over to the blog and see what it looks like. Lots of close-ups and more details, and a complete list and links to all the products that are used in this video today. I'm finishing off the card with just a few dots of some liquid pearls and trying to place them right in some just nice natural places where the pattern paper either meets or it has a center. So thanks for watching, and thanks to Creekbank Creations for providing the products today. Lots more videos in our Commit to Christmas series are coming, so make sure to subscribe to the Sandpaper Road YouTube channel. Check us out on social media, and don't forget to share this video with your crafty friends. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.